Yeah, Amanda Kramer.
Amanda will be on. Oh, yes. Kristen usually will be live.
I don't know. Does Ethan have baseball today? No, he's not T-ball.
What's tonight? Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday all the T-ball teams have practice. He's not T-ball.
I think he's good. I'll just send her a text.
Oh, customize your dashboard. Okay, got it.
We're live.
Yes, there we are. I hope somebody joins so they can tell us they can hear us. Well, Kristen Garrison better join.
She said she was going to. Yeah, I can hear us.
You can hear us? Okay, good. Oh, there's 2 people watching. Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Well, one of them's Amber.
Yeah, one's me.
Sorry, we'll wait a couple minutes anyway, because there's always a lag, and we're usually late. We don't want to surprise people.
They don't expect us to.
Surprise! Oh, 4.
Oh, there's 5.
I know. Look at it go.
Kristen's on. She says hello.
Hi, Kristen.
And she said I can hear you.
Excellent.
There's a delay.
That's super
I don't know
bizarre.
why did I have it? I thought I turned the volume off.
That's really bizarre. Okay. Alright, we're just going to give everybody a couple minutes here yet to join us, and then we'll get started.
Hi, Jill. All right, we're going to get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at home live or watching us on repeat. We're going to start off with the minutes for the month.
Okay, so last month's meeting was March 10th. Most of you probably joined us because our usual suspects are always here. Thank you. Rebecca gave our treasurer's report last month. We had an opening balance of $22,336.09 after some small expenses. Our ending balance was $21,863.89. Our new business discussed was the bylaws, which I feel like was just ongoing forever business. But we finally were able to make our final motion to approve the amended bylaws. Kristen Garrison made the motion, and Amanda Cromer seconded it, and the amended bylaws were approved. We discussed picnic tables and or outdoor classroom supplies for both elementary schools. Rebecca had shared the responses that we got from teachers and staff for a survey that was sent out to them. A large number of the responses have been in favor of outdoor seating for the teachers as well as an outdoor learning area for students. So we talked about the possibility for both of those. There were also some suggestions that included flexible seating, which could be potentially indoor or outdoor, so we are going to keep that in mind as well. We did make the decision to use the reserved and planned Zenden funds, which was $1,200 per school for the teachers' picnic tables, since putting the Zendens in at this point was not really an option. And we also have remaining funds from our COVID relief money that we had budgeted at the beginning of the year. That was $628 that were left there that we could also apply to either of these needs. We discussed Teacher Appreciation Week. That will be May 3rd through 7th. We will be having it catered this year because of the ongoing pandemic and things not being potluck. Our current budget for this is $1,700. That would include any appreciation gifts we also purchase. Bus driver appreciation, that is April 27th. And we discussed doing something different from last year's cupcakes, again because of the pandemic. And our resident Kristen Zook was going to put together gift baskets for them because that is what she does. And apparently they're a huge hit with everybody. Old business, the book club. We did not have a lot of students signed up, but decided to go through with it anyway. That, in the meantime, has ended. Thank you to those of you who did participate. Food truck night. at that point, we had 3 confirmed trucks, and we're looking for some more, asking for suggestions from the community. And Kristen Garrison mentioned the need for additional vendors and basket raffle donations. Gertrude Hawk's fundraiser had been successful again this year, and our pickup date was March 29th from 5 to 7 p.m. That was going to be posted on Facebook. The location was my house. And again, thank you to everyone who picked up and was patient with us and was respectful of traffic in the area and children playing in the streets. Sorry, those were probably mine. It's always great when those go well, so we don't irritate my neighbors and we can continue to do that. The 501c3 and taxes, the state paperwork had been submitted at that time, and we were waiting on the IRS to accept our application. And the accounting software, we discussed that had been recommended by our accountant, that we look into purchasing something basic, which will allow for smoother transitions for future treasurers and all of our records to be kept in one place. Open discussion got lengthy. We talked about the possibility of having back-to-school events next year for new parents and incoming kindergarten and 3rd grade parents, to help them get to know each other and familiarize themselves with the schools and policies and whatnot. And we also discussed creating a contact book of sorts that parents could voluntarily have themselves listed in to assist parents in getting in touch with one another. We discussed whether or not to do separate secretary appreciation baskets instead of grouping them in with teacher appreciation, and decided that that was going to happen that way. And Rebecca suggested adding a bylaw revision clause to the bylaws at the next revision, stating how often they need to be revised. Mm-hmm. And that was our meeting. It was adjourned, and here we are today.
Thank you, Katya. Next up will be our financial report by Rebecca.
Hello, everybody. We had our beginning balance on March 1st was $21,863.89. We did have some income. We had $12,027 in fundraising deposits. That would have been from Gertrude Hawk. And we also received an outside donation from somebody in the community for $100 for a total income of $12,127. We did have some expenses. We had some Gertrude Hawk expenses that we had to pay out of pocket, $89.19. Our virtual book club, we spent $42.03, and we had PTO general expenses for $6.36. Our total expenses were $137.58, which left us with an ending balance on March 30th for $33,853.31. And that's it.
Alrighty. That was fast. Okay, we're moving right along. New business. We did indeed purchase picnic tables for teacher use only. We purchased 4 tables. They are going to be delivered actually tomorrow. Mr. Durr, he is in charge of all of that stuff, is aware of it. He will be responsible from when they are delivered until they are no longer used, of cutting around them, maintenance on them, and storing them when they're not in use during the winter and non-school months. We also did order 2 umbrellas for each school. Teacher appreciation. We did finally confirm.
Wait, I have a question about the picnic tables.
Yes.
Does one of us need to be present for the delivery?
No, they're
Okay.
going to the school.
They're just going to drop them
Yep.
off? Okay.
Yep, and I already called, and they know that they're coming tomorrow, and everything's
Perfect.
honky-dory. Teacher appreciation. We have confirmed the dates for the luncheons. Peters will be May 6th, and Slatington's will be May 4th. We will be having this catered this year due to the COVID-19. We will also be stocking the fridge with drinks, and we are doing a small gift for each teacher. We decided, I talked to someone at the district, and she gave me a very good idea. we're going to, teachers, close your ears if you're listening, get a huge basket and fill it with supply needs that they would have on their desks. Pens, paper clips, binder clips, markers, stickers, staples,
highlighters.
Whatever you
Okay,
think
cool.
they would need. The person who told me this says it's a great demand for them. They always are looking for that stuff. And I said how we talked about tumblers, and I said I personally didn't like the idea, and she said, yeah, we do not want tumblers.
Okay.
Or coffee mugs or anything of that sort. So we were going to do that and that will be just for teachers.
Right.
Obviously, janitors and cafeteria ladies do not need that stuff. 6th grade picnic. Every year, the 6th graders have an end-of-the-year picnic, and the PTO helps pay for items. And I did speak with Mrs. Ware. They are going to have a picnic this year. It's going to be a little different than last year due to COVID. I do have on here what she would like the PTO, but what the PTO will be supplying. They are going to do a half-day picnic instead of a full day, and it's always done at the ski club. They can walk there from school through the path. The ski club, I'm pretty sure, donates the pavilion to them. But we will be providing pizza, cupcakes instead of a sheet cake, and cases of water, and then also individual small snack bags. I don't have a date or anything yet. That's all she got as far as, because I kind of hit her on the spot when I stopped in the other day. I had a list of things that I wanted to talk to them
Now
about.
that I'm here,
Yeah.
I need this.
Yes, honestly, that's how it worked.
Once they let you in, you gotta
Yeah.
hit them up for everything.
So, that's something we need to, I don't think that's going to be too costly. It's only 6th grade. I figured 2 slices of pizza, a student, bottle of water. We can get,
Did she give you a date yet?
No, she didn't give me anything else. So she literally was meeting with the 6th grade team that day, and she's like, "Oh, I'll bring it up then." So it was kind of like,
Okay.
So she emailed me that night and just said, "This is what so far we have planned." I also spoke with both principals about the end of the year. I would like to do something for the students. We did talk at our last meeting about doing something like at a park, but I feel like that wouldn't be fair to the students who couldn't go to a park, and I asked if we could do something at the school instead. Mr. Pine said that every year he would do ice cream sandwiches. I said, well, I was thinking of these 2 other items. He said he doesn't have a problem with it. He would just have to run it by district to see if it was okay. My 2 ideas were Kona Ice and Rita's, either or, whoever we'd be able to get. Him and Mr. Schneider both sounded excited, but like I said, it's not their decision because of safety and whatnot. And I said if we couldn't do that, I want to do something, maybe get the ice cream sandwiches or some type of ice cream. I said it's a lot more exciting than getting a Dixie cup of chocolate vanilla.
Is this done like the last day of
So,
school?
and
or
this
the
is where I'm
last
going
week of
in.
school?
So going into it, the children also always have field day every year, and we help with that. We sponsor the moon bounce, and there's no way we're doing a moon bounce if they would do field day. So I said that we would that would also take funds from the field day to help pay for this also. So it will be the last week of school. I just have to find out, approval and all that stuff before we could go.
So are they not doing field day this year?
They might be. That's
Okay.
still also up in the air. I literally went in there and I was like, this, because he was there, he was available, and I'm throwing everything at him. So, because then the one teacher said she doesn't see why they couldn't have field day because they're already outside for recess and due to that time or whatever.
No, I think that's my kid's TV show.
Oh. Okay, sorry. So we don't know. I'm not saying anything about field day because that's not our our area. I'm just saying that we will not be supplying a moon bounce at field day this year, and I'm just hoping to have some type of.
So we will either be
day.
doing the dessert day potentially in conjunction with a field day that might happen, or
completely separate. Yes.
Aaron, quiet.
Okay.
Sorry.
A friendship bench was asked for Peter's playgrounds during recess. There are many students who don't have friends to play with. This would help with making new friends. I did look up costs on one of those plastics, really good sturdy benches, and they were quite costly. If anyone has any different ideas of a friendship area for the students to have outside for recess, you could pass it along. We did, before our meeting, had a little discussion, and someone did say about possibly getting like a trellis and then planting flowers that would go around the trellis, and they can meet there and maybe start it with like chalk and stuff. So something idea-wise for a friendship meeting place at Peters we're looking for.
Something cozier than standing next to a bizarre pole, but something more cost-effective than a really expensive bench.
Because the benches that they were talking about wanting are almost like $900, and that's just not doable.
Especially considering that from the looks of things, field trips will be back next year.
Yes.
And we need to have something in our account to provide for those fall trips. I'm sure everybody's going to be excited to go. So, yeah. So if anyone has an idea that's, friendlier and cozier than a pole, or an orange cone.
Yeah.
The cone of friendship.
And then last new business would be, I have on here for next year. As the year is coming to an end, we are always looking for help. We could always use fresh ideas for our students. If any parent is interested in helping us, please reach out to me. We really struggled this year getting ideas and functions for the kids that were virtual that, they were excited to be a part of. So for next year, we still don't know. We won't know until next year if we'll be allowed in the buildings. So we just want to get these kids something to do besides their regular routine.
I mean, there's a possibility that next year external things might be open again, like, roller skating rinks or bowling alleys, except that the closest ones here are getting demolished and collapsed. Things like that might be a potential. It all kind of depends, but really any ideas that we could build off of would be great. Because, yeah.
Yeah, and even, yes, there's the 5 of us as board members, but we could always use, an extra hands-on. If you want to come and join us prior to our meetings, after our meetings, just to see what we're doing, we're more than welcome to have someone else present during these meetings to, give us advice on ideas and
also, with the weather getting nicer, if you're not comfortable meeting in one of our homes with us, we can theoretically hold next month's meeting outdoors.
Right. We've done. For our year end, we've done that.
That might actually be something to consider, is holding our main meeting at Eagle's Nest at the pavilion, like we've done before in the summer, and having it in person. Getting to know some of these people that religiously join us.
Our next month, we won't have a meeting in June.
No, we don't.
No, typically there's only a meeting in June when it's elections.
Right.
Okay, so the May meeting is the last one of the year.
Yes. So, and then we'll have our meeting in July for planning of next year.
Yeah.
So, are we opposed to doing, it's May 14th, I'm pretty sure the next meeting. May 12th, I'm sorry. Are we opposed to doing it outside? And if anybody wants...
I'm not.
I don't have a problem doing it. It might, especially Eagle's Nest, if there's still soccer or whatever going on that night and parents don't want to sit and watch their kids, they can always come to PTO meeting under the pavilion.
We could do Eagle's Nest, or we could do Victory Park. Both of them have substantial pavilions that could allow for enough people to be there. The only thing with Eagle's Nest is we would have to make sure that it's not reserved.
Okay.
And the township will probably charge us to use it. I think the fee is like $25. Like, it's nothing ridiculous.
I mean, I know when I came aboard 2 years ago or whatever it was,
They just showed up and hoped it was empty.
we just showed up and
Yes.
it was like, oh, Victoria is interested in helping. It was like 6 of us parents. We like when we had a vote. There was like
Right.
6 of us there.
There are 2 pavilions.
Yes,
too.
it was very quick, and I mean, I don't know.
If somebody's set up under the one by the playground, we can always go around the back
I mean,
of the
I
building.
highly doubt anybody's going to be having a birthday party
No,
on a Wednesday
no.
evening.
No.
Right. Okay. So that's a possibility. We could obviously watch. We would have to watch the weather because if it's a pouring down rainy day, obviously I'm not going to go there, and we could just have it here or wherever. I mean, and if anyone wants to come, that's totally fine. But if it's like, we'll let them know. Like, we'll make the decision. Like, maybe that Friday, watch the weather, and if it's looking good, is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So tentatively, next meeting, which is May 12th, will be at Eagle's Nest.
Perfect.
All right. Old business, the book club. This was a free event. It was not very successful, but the kids who did participate enjoyed reading their books. Food truck night. We have decided to cancel this event. We could not find enough trucks to come. We tried our hardest. We reached out to over 20 different companies, and either they were booked or they just did not respond back to us. Any vendor who did prepay their spot will get reimbursed. 501c3 and taxes. We are still waiting for some paperwork, but everything is on track. Accounting software. We will be purchasing software at the end of June to start our new fiscal year come July. I will put that in my calendar so we don't forget to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll be filing taxes anyway, so we'll just.
I know, just between you and I, we'll.
Right along with.
Yeah. Boosterthon, we did indeed cancel it this year due to the COVID restrictions. Booster will be holding our deposit for when we are able to have it again. That is all I have. We will go to open discussion. Like I said, it is the end of the year. We pretty much are at a lull of activities and fundraisers, but we don't want to go ghost on you guys. So if there is anything that you would like from us from now until June 17th or 11th, I forget which day it is, last day of school. June 11th, I think.
June 11th is currently the last day.
Yes. We are more than welcome to try anything. If anyone out on Facebook has anything they would like to say, I'm watching my phone as we speak.
I would kind of like to go back to the book club for a hot minute. I think virtually maybe it wasn't super successful. But I wonder if, depending on the situations with the schools, if it is something that we could try to do again next year, but in person. Again for March, because that's like your Read Across America month or whatever, but maybe also doing it in January or February, like when it's cold out and people are more likely to sit around and read. Perhaps instead of doing like 4 simultaneous book clubs, to do like 3 different ones through the months, so that we don't have to have 4 different groups meeting in the school. We would just have one group every time. Because I think that like part of what deterred people from it was the whole virtual part. I mean, yes, I was trying to find an activity for the poor virtual students to get together with kids. But it was actually really fun to get to read the book and talk about the book with the kids and stuff. So maybe it's something that we'd like to sign up earlier, and if we don't get a minimum amount of sign-ups, then bag it. But
what about, so I'm thinking here, Slatington is really the only school that elementary school that has after school activities, right? Like band or clubs
Correct.
and stuff.
They have like Girls on the Run, band,
So-
garden club. Yeah.
But Peters doesn't.
Correct.
What if we asked like Slatington Library if we could utilize that little sitting room that they have back there for the Peters kids instead of, and then do it at a different time of day, and then if somebody can facilitate in the school at Slatington.
You mean at the Peters Library?
No, at the Slatington Library.
But how are
Sorry.
we going to get the Peters kids to Slatington?
Well, their parents will have to bring
It
them.
was.
But my
Yes.
thought was that Slatington Elementary is already set up for after school activities and clubs.
Right.
Where Peters is not. So maybe for the Peters kids, instead of trying to start a club that's after school in the
Right.
school building, we take it to somewhere
and
like Slatington Library.
To an extent, is the book club something that's good for the Peters kids?
Also, I would.
Because, I mean, at least up until the first grade level, it requires parent participation.
Exactly.
And even a lot of second graders are not reading at a really advanced rate.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something that we want to just keep for Slatington.
Okay. That makes sense. Because that was my concern. Like, how are the Peters, like, nothing is set up at Peters right now for after school.
Well,
activities.
and with the Peters kids, like, requiring that parent assistance, then, I mean, it's kind of difficult to put them in a book club.
Right.
Maybe that's something that we would like to keep for the older kids. Also, while we're doing open discussion, at the end of last year, we had talked to Mr. Pine, well, not at the end, before COVID, about halfway through last year, we had talked to Mr. Pine about, instead of doing dances, per se, doing, like, those socials after school. In the event that we are allowed back in the schools, is this something we want to do?
Absolutely. Right. Because we talked about, like, because I even like the idea of, like, that board game I saw last year on Facebook. Like, you get, like, board games, like, real board games.
Mhm.
And then you know, switch them around. And even cards. My daughter loves playing cards.
like a game night kind of thing.
She
or a
loves
game,
playing crazy games.
Good for her. She's going to have to teach me how to play.
Oh my God.
I'm really bad at it.
Yeah.
Is that for Slatington only? Because I know
Yes.
we only did the one dance at Peters.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. I would, if we are allowed, I would like to bring the Valentine's dance back at Peters. I think everybody really enjoyed it. It was not my personal favorite thing to plan and organize because it's kind of a pain in the butt, but the kids loved it. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can find ways to like simplify it from a planning perspective. Maybe not make it a dance or something, like, but they really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're like right now talking everything about Slatington. We really gotta do something like fun.
Fun at Peters. Well, I'd like to keep the dance. I'd like to bring it back. I mean, I feel like by February of next year, like, things look promising.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we live like this forever and we never have dances again. Who knows? But
for prom, they're only allowed that school and no dates. They're not even allowed to dance at the prom. I'm pretty sure that's what they said at the school board meeting.
There's no way to
Did you watch the school board meeting?
No, I was at baseball and then I had like all these children at my house and it didn't happen.
They're not allowed to dance.
Well, what's the point of prom if you're not dancing?
I don't know. I didn't have one.
I guess just to get dressed up, like
to socialize from a distance.
I'm
I'm 99% sure that's what they said.
There's an adult prom happening this May that I can't go to. I was super excited to conflict with my life.
Okay. Any other news business from open discussion from you? From Pat, yeah. Okay. Kristen, Zook, do you have anything? Rebecca has a lot.
I don't have a lot. Most of it's already checked off because it was just on my list. So it didn't make it onto the minutes, so I'm not sure when we talked about it, if it was like after the meeting was over or what. But one of the things I had suggested at the last meeting was it was during the meeting. Speaking to Mrs. Bonnick about providing personal care items, feminine hygiene products for the kids that are enrolled in the Backpack Buddies program. So I emailed Mrs. Bonnick, and
You're fine, Cynthia, almost.
she did get back to me. She said that, let's see. She said she discussed it with a few individuals, and we think it's a great idea, with the exception to the feminine products, because they don't know if the backpacks are going to guys or girls. She said there are between 25 and 40 students per week that receive the backpack. The Backpack Buddies. I asked her about the feminine care products, if it was handled by the nurse. And she said reaching out to the nurse would be a good call, just to see if that's something that, I guess maybe really only at Slatington, but just seeing if it's something that they need help with. But she said they could definitely use help with, in my original email, I suggested toothpaste, deodorant, toothbrushes, things that go along with, just not being able to get them themselves.
And we would only do this once a month, or not every week.
Not every week, because I would hope that a tube of toothpaste,
right? That's what I'm thinking.
Would last 2 to 3. Even if you got a travel size toothpaste, that could last a week.
A tube of toothpaste lasts all 3 of my kids several weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a full
this
size.
is kids applying toothpaste.
And that's a full size thing.
Right.
So that was my thought, was we can get, I'm pretty sure, I know it's not the best product out there, but Suave Kids has the 3-in-1. We can get, that bottle that's this big, and it could last them a couple weeks.
Okay. My only other concern is if we would do, are they pump or are they a cap? The Swap Kids.
You can get them either way.
Okay. Just,
I know, 'cause we all have kids.
Making a mess in that book bag, or
we
have to make sure that we put it in a Ziploc bag,
what if we just did bar soap?
We could do that too. That's
I'm just seeing a mess being made. I
So,
had laundry to
what is the plan for would we just provide those things, or would we just send out a flyer and have families donate them?
I think we could do it both ways. I feel like if Mrs. Bonnick is still using a similar staging area to what she had, and I didn't ask her if she's using a similar, and I can ask her if she's using a similar staging for she did when the program first started, it would not be difficult to just put 25 bottles of shampoo in a row, and she can just keep them there and she can distribute them as needed. And then, if she wants to put them in gallon zipper bags to make sure that nothing gets anything anywhere,
I think
we can help with that.
Yeah, we could even,
but we can,
us as a team or whoever, put all the products in a gallon bag and then just have them ready to go just into the book bag. I think that would be a lot easier.
That would probably be easier for her.
I know, are very
exactly. And she said, she's looking forward to,
so donations should come to us and not directly to the school.
Yes. And, we can put that call out to parents, if...
Right.
I mean, because we did the, every year we've done the food drive at Peters, right? The canned food drive at Peters.
Yeah. Us?
No, the school
No.
did.
Oh,
the school did.
Yeah.
So it's not, unusual to ask the parents in the community to provide things for that kind of
It just
need.
wouldn't be as simple as send it to school with your kid.
Right.
Or do we just provide a bin at the school?
Have
a bin in a kid's have everybody drop it off there, and then we pick up the bin.
Yeah.
And then bring it back sorted and separated.
Yeah. And I don't, I'll talk to Mrs. Bonnick and find out what would work easier for her, for us to pack it.
Right. Because otherwise what's going to happen is there's going to be a bin in my driveway.
No. And I actually have space for bins if we need it at my house now. What was my other thought? Oh, this is only for elementary students unless they are reached.
So we have, okay, that's another thing though, because at the Book Bag Baddies, they do for all grade levels there. So how would they determine?
I specifically asked, are the backpacks distributed across all the schools or just elementary? She said strictly elementary schools unless we get notification of someone in need.
Okay.
So,
Because I remember, I mean, it could have definitely changed, but when the church, this is when I was helping out with doing this, the church was providing for anyone in K through 12,
okay.
the book buddies.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was, maybe if clarify is for summer and school year. Like, because
Okay.
maybe the summer might be different than the school year. I don't know. But I
Okay.
really remember packing bags for older children.
Okay. So,
'Cause I had-
summer.
I mean, the other thing that we can do is we could reach out to some of these companies like Procter and Gamble, Unilever, that makes like your typical toothpaste, soaps, whatever, and ask if they are willing to donate items to us.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they have programs in place that do that.
Right.
So, like, you know, then we'll get a box of Crest toothpaste or whatever and just divide it that way. Now, like, I mean, are we just doing like soap, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush? Are we doing?
That was my thought. I was thinking something to wash your body and your hair with.
Okay.
Whether that is 2 different products or 1 product.
Right.
Deodorant, because that's going to be in need at least at the Slatington level. And then toothbrushes and toothpaste across all ages. And I feel like that's probably the extent of it. Like,
Okay.
I don't think we need lotions. I don't think we need washcloths. We don't need to do tissues or hand sanitizer or floss.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of like 3rd graders that floss.
No, but
Yeah.
but
Okay.
like I don't
Right.
think it needs to be that and like even like I've made like care packages to keep in my car if I come across somebody
Right.
on the street, but because they're adults and their chances are they're living in the street, there's also a pair of socks in there, things like
Right.
that. So it's not something that
One more
children
question.
would need.
I'm sorry.
No,
thinking.
go ahead.
So another thing, though, doing this, say we're doing it for each bag, and there's 4 bags going to the same household. Not that I'm not being greedy or anything, but so that means that household will be getting 4 things,
times that.
4 times the product.
I really feel like if they are enrolled, if there are 4 children in a house and each child gets a backpack, everybody gets their own soap too.
Okay.
So because that would be kind of. She said she doesn't even know if the individual bags are going to boys or girls.
Right.
So while I'm sure she has a list of some kind about like,
Right.
but when they pack it, they don't
Right,
know
right.
exactly who it's going to. So,
Okay. Anything else?
I did update the website with the new bylaws. The old bylaws have been removed and the new bylaws are up there. And then I just had a little note. We talked about it. We can talk about it later too, as the field trips for next year.
There was nothing came in on Facebook from anyone, so I'm assuming no one has any comments or concerns. This was a very, very fast meeting.
That's okay.
All
I
right.
anticipate our first meeting of next year being pretty complicated, so we're already we're buying some extra minutes.
All right, we'll give you another minute. Otherwise, we're gonna get going. In person next month, May 12th, Eagles Nest. If the weather is not cooperating, we will put out there that it'll be at someone's home. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye.
You have to turn it off.
Yes. I will. Don't forget me.
I'm like, turn it off.
Where is my